and thanks for joining us on Nationwide today. I'm Elizabeth Omori. We begin with health matters. For the past 76 years, nations of the world have been commemorating the World Health Day on the 7th of April annually. This has been so as a result of the priority accorded the sector with this year's theme, My Health, My Right. Indeyang and the Yaba Gyang tells us more.
The adage that health is wealth cannot be downplayed, as no individual or people survive or make any meaningful progress in the midst of diseases and ill health. Nigeria is not left out in the quest to ensure that its people have access to basic facilities to enhance their well-being. This year's theme, My Health, My Right, is therefore a wake-up call for everyone to take proactive measures towards wellness.
You have a right to seek appropriate health care at the right time, promptly, and not when things are going out of hand. And this includes your psychological health, your mental health. Very, very important, okay, especially in the era of economic challenges, security challenges. We can have a lot of people getting so worried, especially with fake news, which have a way of getting them perturbed, which has some health consequences, even on their physical health.
Dr. Amadou challenged healthcare providers and those with the wherewithal to invest more in the human and material resources that abound towards improving the sector.
Proper synergy between the policymakers, the healthcare providers, the administrators, the private, entrepreneurs who are interested in establishing businesses. This is also a call for people to get involved in, establishing healthcare facilities, diagnostic centers, so as to be able to have subsidized facilities for proper diagnosis of patients and treatment when it is needed.
In Jos, Indeyang and the Abuja, NTA News.
And Dr. Larry Babajide, Senior Registrar Obstetrics and Gynecology, National Hospital Abuja, is here with us in the studio to speak further on the essence of the day. Dr. Larry, thank you so much for joining us on Nationwide.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you for joining us, Dr. Larry.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, the theme of this year's World Health Day is My Health, My Right. What message for Nigeria and Nigerians?
Yeah, thank you for the question. The World Health Organization defines health as a complete state of physical, social, and mental well-being. And when reading through some legal books, the rights of a person is defined as an interest that is backed and protected by the law. So bringing these two together, it has been apt to define the theme of this year as My Health, meaning your complete state of physical, mental, and mental well-being, being your right, backed by the law. So bringing this to the fore to let people know that their health is actually something that should be backed by the law of the country where they reside. Going through the constitutions of many countries, it was discovered that about 140 of them actually have this right backed by the constitution. But financing this is where we're lagging behind. For example, let's bring it down to Africa. In 2001, here in Abuja, an Abuja declaration was made that 15% of the yearly budget of countries in Africa should be put aside for health. But it's been difficult meeting up to that. Maybe 2 or 3 countries, and in recent past, maybe in 2021, South Africa and Cape Verde were able to meet up to that. Bringing it home, the latest in 2024, we found out that just 5.03% of the health budget, of the total budget, was set aside for health. And going back to the declaration, the right was the right of the citizens, the right of the Nigerians going to regarding healthcare. So those are some of the factors that this World Health Day has brought to the fore.
Okay, from your explanation, how do we bridge the gap in access to healthcare?
The fundamental answer is health financing. And the good thing is that the current government is looking at ways to boost health financing. There are about 5 strategies or 5 ways to to improve health financing. And the first one is increasing the tax revenue, the social insurance of people, and then the voluntary insurance. The fourth one is financial aid from donor bodies, and of course the fifth one is also the one of out-of-pocket care. Now, bringing it down to what people earn, the kind of jobs they do, how many people can really afford out-of-pocket care. So it goes back to the government trying as much as possible to provide health for people. And the only way they can do that is by financing the health sector. Like we said, 15% of the budget is supposed to be set aside for health, but we still have 5%. There's a lot of brain drain going on. Doctors, nurses, health workers in various specialties are moving in droves out of the country. What has been done to stem that tide? So these are the areas we should look at. Building infrastructure in the health. Primary health care sector too should be developed. Universal health coverage for everybody, making it their right to access health care. I think those are some of the things that we should look at.
All right, talking about health for all, provision of healthcare services is actually on the concurrent legislative list. Do you see the federal, states and local councils pushing for achieving overall healthcare for national coverage?
Yeah, thank you. It's about the political will, and it moves beyond the political will. It's all about leadership. If there is a proper framework for people to actually move in the direction of promoting healthcare for people, for the citizens, then there will be no need coming to agitate, both from the healthcare workers and even for those who should benefit from this. So from the local government sector, that's from the primary healthcare, and even the state governments, the secondary healthcare centers, many of them are owned by the state governments, and then to the federal tertiary institutions, and even some of the states that have tertiary institutions. If there's a proper plan, a proper referral pathway for patients coming in from the primary healthcare sector to the secondary and then to the tertiary, and then some people are even beginning to look at sub-specialization beyond the tertiary centers. So bringing in the local, state authorities and even the federal government into this is very important, and I think it's something that we should really begin to look at.
Okay, I'm quite fascinated by your explanation, but really if we are to talk about health for all, everyone having access to health care, with all this in place by the government, do you see us achieving the SDG goal on health, certain health issues before 2030, meeting the targets?
Yeah, like I said, it's all about the political will and about getting the right people to drive these ideas. And this is something that we see this current government doing, bringing in a Minister of Health who is well experienced, and also the Minister of State for Health. And we've read through some of their policy documents and how they intend to go about this, and we believe it's something that is achievable. We just need to put in more work and probably improve the finance, and then improving other sectors too, not just health. Like we said, health, defining health, says a state of physical, mental and social well-being. So if everything is fine with you physically and probably mentally and socially, there's a deficiency, it still doesn't translate to a complete state of health. So we want other factors, other sections of the economy to improve, and then in that way you can have a complete and awesome approach to achieving this universal health for all.
All right, Dr. Larry Aremo Babajide, thank you so much for your time. We do appreciate your presence. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Still talking health, strengthening the rights of Nigerians to quality healthcare services begins with providing accessible and affordable healthcare in rural communities. This, the view of medical experts as they reflect on the 2024 theme of the World Health Day. Clement Barraquit takes us and gives us more.
The right to health of millions is increasingly coming under threat. Lack of access to healthcare facilities and inadequate healthcare personnel are at the forefront of limiting access to healthcare services, a situation that has further discouraged many Nigerians from going for regular medical checkups.
I really go to hospital, except when I'm sick. That's when I go to hospital.
The people inside the village, they are suffering. Even they even want to go and buy drugs in the hospital, or the chemist, they don't have money to go and buy.
With the team, my health, my rights, means that residents, Nigerians, you should be responsible, should take responsibility for your health.
The theme for the 2024 World Health Day, My Health, My Right, is therefore a call to action for government and key players to ensure that everyone, everywhere, have access to quality and affordable healthcare services.
The WHO declared health as a human right many years ago. And in 1978, During the first conference of primary health care, that was reaffirmed, health as a human right. About 140 countries of the world have had that entrenched in their constitutions. But is that the reality across the world? No, it is not. Because you find that over half of the world population don't even have access to health.
Health, they say, is wealth, and health experts agree that access to healthcare services equals access to wealth and healthy lifestyle. Clement Barikui, NTA News.
The care of ear, nose and throat is essential to the general well-being of any human being. Hence the need for the government to make provision for adequate manpower and infrastructure for the medical needs of citizens. This, the view of stakeholders at the 44th inaugural lecture of the University of Abuja. Salwa Khalil Ibrahim tells us more.
The hustle and bustle of everyday life comes with a lot of noise pollution, which could cause noise-induced hearing loss, and experts say could not be unconnected to ear, nose and throat challenges. The town and gown gathered at the 44th inaugural lecture of the University of Abuja with the topic Sound, Wind and Whisper, a journey in search of harmony in otorhinolaryngology, also known as the care for the ear, nose and throat.
Monitoring environmental noise, educating people so that they know how harmful this can be. Not only that it affects their ear, but affects their mental being and their total health being. You know, look at stuff like Lassa fever, which has been killing people in hundreds and thousands. And we are looking for solutions. So that's why we say that these things are very, very doable and very workable. If the willingness is there among the government, among each and every one of us as populace.
He has mentioned the issue of Lassa fever as a contributory factor to hearing loss. And when research was carried out, we only have 2 or 3 laboratories in the country that can diagnose confidently the Lassa fever virus. But by and large, the good news is about that we are in a regime that we have a president who has the commitment, the political will to right wrong in a renewed home agenda.
At the end of the lecture series, an appeal was made to stakeholders in the healthcare delivery sector to unite in addressing the gaps in the care for ear, nose and throat. In Abuja, Salwa Khalil Ibrahim, NTA News.
Away from health matters, as part of efforts by the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to attract foreign direct investment, the Permanent Secretary Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Adamu Lamuwa, has embarked on an investment campaign to the United Kingdom, where he enjoined Nigerians in the diaspora to prioritize investments in Nigeria across sectors. Correspondent Olawale Hamzat reports.
It is a privilege and a great honor to welcome you to this momentous event.
It was a meeting with Nigerians and potential investors in the UK, hosted by the Nigeria High Commission in London. And the guest was the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Adamu Lamuwa, who embarked on an investment promotion campaign.
The greatest asset any nation can have is its citizens, the population, of which Nigeria is blessed, especially the youth, who are the backbone. And not only population, but highly educated and healthy population.
Ambassador Adamu underscores the various strategic reforms by the Tinubu-led administration to attract and protect investment across sectors, particularly in agriculture, real estate, manufacturing, marine, oil and gas, and mineral resources, among others.
Investment is a function of profit, and there is no investment without taking risk. Whatever it is, if you come back to Nigeria, if you come home, you discover that all the lies about insecurity, about corruption, about unstable environment, it has changed because President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has made so much progress within this short period. He has reformed the sector, he has reformed the economy, he has reformed security, he has made conducive environment for foreign investors to come and invest in Nigeria.
Representatives of Nigerian associations and groups in the UK also expressed their solidarity and commitment to driving investment to Nigeria.
In the renewed hope agenda of the present regime of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we have to consciously pursue foreign investments into the Nigerian economy and also ensure an enabling environment to attract such investments.
Investment from the diaspora has got to be a key factor in the Nigerian economics story going forward.
It was a robust engagement with investors and Nigerians in the UK, and it is expected that these will yield significant outcomes in the coming months. Olawale Hamzat, NTA.
In other news, in an effort to promote effective and efficient teaching and learning process in schools across the country, the National Senior Secondary Education Commission says it has developed a national minimum standard for senior secondary education. The Executive Secretary of the Commission, Dr. Iyela Ajayi, disclosed this when he received a delegation from the Bureau of Public Service Reforms. Kenneth Nanim reports.
To reposition secondary education in Nigeria to be at par with global standards is part of mandate of the National Senior Secondary Education Commission. Now, the Bureau of Public Service Reforms is at the Commission's Office on Self-Assessment. The scorecard indicates that the Commission has come up with a national policy document and strategic plan towards development of secondary education, which have been validated and will soon be published. The self-evaluation also reveals that capacity building for teachers is being prioritized to ensure effective teaching and learning process. Meanwhile, Executive Secretary of NSSEC, Dr. Iyela Ajayi, pointed to inadequate funding as a major challenge, as the Commission is yet to assess the 2% of the Consolidated Revenue Fund allocated to it by law, but expressed the commitment towards improvement in the secondary education. Having performed above average, the Bureau of Public Service Reforms urges National Secondary School Education Commission to leverage opportunities of the forthcoming Africa EduTech Conference to explore areas of partnerships with relevant organizations to drive in investors for more development in the sector. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
Thank you, Kenneth. You're watching Nationwide on NTA this beautiful Sunday evening. Time to head to Lagos, where Adeola is standing by with some reports. Hello, Adeola.
Elizabeth. Under the international law, every individual has a right to access health services, but data shows that many people around the world do not enjoy this right. That is why the World Health Day focuses on raising awareness about global health issues and highlighting the importance of well-being. This year, the government is turning its attention to blood donation. Adejoke Odeka tells us more.
Research by the World Health Organization, WHO, shows that the right to health of millions is increasingly coming under threat globally. WHO's Council on the Economics of Health for All says about 4.5 billion people, which is more than half of the world's population, were not fully covered by essential health services in 2021. The Nigerian Institute of Medical Research, NIMR, is using this year's World Health Day with the theme, My Health, My Right, to create awareness on blood donation.
I believe that this is a continuous advocacy to the Nigerian people, and that we cannot do without blood in our hospitals, either for emergency services, which is the most important. When people need blood on an emergency basis and they cannot have it, they run the risk of dying.
To solidify the impact of the mega designathon, experts are advocating the urgent need to revitalize blood donation in Nigeria.
Do you know that one of the ways to maintain a good health is to donate blood? Proven. Scientifically proven. Less incidence of leukemias. Reduction in blood pressure It keeps you healthy. It keeps your bone marrow healthy.
Blood Hub is a blood donor management system for blood donation services, a one-stop shop for blood donation services. So what does this do? It's a triangle. It links the donor to the blood bank to the hospital, and then the hospital again now to the donor and the blood bank.
Through ensuring high voluntary, non-remunerated blood donation. In Lagos, Adejoke Odeka, NTA News.
Moving on to security, the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Bala Abubakar's determination to make research and innovation an integral part of the Nigerian Air Force once again came to the fore at this year's inter-units competition with the theme Building Air Power Capability through prioritization of research and development to improve logistics support for NAF operational effectiveness. Bolaji Akim reports that various innovations born out of researchers were displayed at the Aircraft Maintenance Depot hangar, Ikeja.
To keep up with its traditional role of maintaining the territorial integrity of the nation and defending it from external aggression, the Nigerian Air Force is using technology which places high premium on research and development. This time around, it is focusing on the need to check over dependence on foreign technologies in order to save the country from high foreign currency spending. The Air Force Logistics Command is harnessing the potentials of its personnel in utilizing indigenous resources for production of its equipments.
It has become necessary for the Nigerian Air Force to provide some of her defense equipment and system needs through innovative knowledge and skills. It is gladdening that Logistics Command is contributing its quota towards achieving the desired self-reliance aimed at sustaining the Nigerian Air Force operations across the country.
Chief of Standards and Evaluation, Air Marshal Michael Onyebishi, explained that innovation and research will help the Nigerian Air Force in checking both external and internal aggression.
To be able to produce some of these items to sustain our operations. Sometimes it is difficult to acquire them even when you have the money. Of course, you know that right now we are fighting insurgency, and the bandits and the insurgents are not waiting for you to be ready. So everything that is possible to keep your fleet flying and operational will be, of course, your strategic goal.
The yearly event is to chart way for indigenous production of needed tools for the Nigerian Air Force. In Lagos, Bolaji Akim, NTA News.
And we are done from Lagos. It's time for us to go on a short break, and when we return, it's back to Elizabeth in Abuja for the continuation of Nationwide. Please stay.
You're still watching Nationwide on NTA. Fitness is a crucial aspect of the Nigerian Air Force recruitment process, and as it is coming on the backdrop of World Health Day, Defense correspondent Najat Tijani highlights the medical significance against the recruitment process of non-tradesmen into the Nigerian Air Force, among other health measures of the NAF.
It entail to become an airman, an airwoman, or even an officer in the Nigerian Air Force. This is what the NTA crew is at the Nigerian Air Force Base in Kaduna to find out in the light of the ongoing recruitment exercise taking place from the 2nd of April to the 7th of April 2024. I have with me Squadron Leader Suleiman Aliyu, who is a consultant radiologist working with the 465 Nigerian Air Force Hospital, Kano, as well as a member of the medical team for the NAF 2023-2024 recruitment exercise, and he'll be telling us why it is important. Why is this an important aspect of the recruitment process, which has so many steps?
There are some minimal requirements, medical requirements that you are expected to be met. Your cardiovascular system is expected to be optimal. So in that light, when candidates come for exercise like this, we check their blood pressure to make sure they are not hypertensive, to make sure their blood pressure is not above 140/80. because we all know the importance of having a normal blood pressure and the implication of having a high blood pressure, because high blood pressure has implications like cardiac failure and even sudden death.
Has been Squadron Leader Suleiman Aliu, one of the members of the medical team for the NAF recruitment exercise 2023-2024, as well as a consultant radiologist, talking on the importance of the medical screening to becoming a military and Nigerian Air Force personnel, and of course, and also what the Nigerian Air Force does all the time to ensure health in the host community and of course among the air community.
Thank you so much, Nadaratu. And we are not done from Kaduna. Let's now hear from Mohammed, who has some stories for us.
In Kaduna, Nigeria is faced with challenges that knows no religion or ethnicity, but coming together in unity of purpose will help surmount some of these challenges according to stakeholders. It is this understanding, however, that prompted some pastors here in Kaduna State to share food with their Muslim brothers to break their fast, all in the spirit of unity. Haruna Muhammad reports.
As the Muslims await the time to break their fast at the Atiku Awal Mosque in Gwarimi, suddenly Reverend Joseph John Hayab and other pastors arrive with the food for iftar. They interacted on the need to set aside religious differences and foster unity for a prosperous Nigeria. The gesture is courtesy of Global Peace Foundation in collaboration with other stakeholders with the sole aim of promoting peace and tolerance amongst the people.
We continue to work together as a team, work together as fellow citizens who will change this country. But the further we allow division, then we will not make any progress. So our message is, let's unite to build Nigeria.
We are here to demonstrate human relationship in practice.
The relationship between Islam and other religions is from day one.
The act of kindness is appreciated by the beneficiaries while calling on others to take cue from them. Haruna Mohammed, NTA News.
Zakat and Wakaf Foundation has distributed Zakat funds worth 10 million naira to the poor and vulnerable people here in Kaduna State. Religious leaders at the event called on the wealthy individuals in the society to endeavor to be giving out Zakat to reduce the rate of poverty in the society, as practiced by Prophet Muhammad during his lifetime. The report. One after the other, the beneficiaries received their envelopes containing the sum of 50,000 naira. Among them is this old man Umar Isyaku, whose face was lit up with satisfaction, commending the effort of the Zakat Foundation for the kind gesture. The beneficiaries were asked to use the Zakat funds wisely by investing in small businesses that will gradually grow and provide them a stable income to take care of their families.
I felt happy and excited.
Last year, we had 16 million naira distributed to 277 beneficiaries. And this year, as you can see, so far, we are having 10 million naira that we are distributing to over about 200 beneficiaries at the moment today in this occasion.
Our rich men must know that the zakah is one of the pillars of Islam. As a person believes in prayer, he must believe in paying zakat.
On the faces of most of these people as they received the zakat funds was a sense of gratitude and a reminder that amidst the harsh realities of life there is always room for kindness and compassion if the rich continue to obey the rule of Allah to give out the zakat fund to those in need in Kaduna. And that's our contributions from Kaduna. Back to Elizabeth in our Abuja studio. Good evening, Elizabeth. Good evening, Elizabeth.
So much, Mohammed. President Bola Tinubu congratulates Alhaji Aliyu Babatunde Oduwole as he marks his 80th birthday. As an active citizen and believer in Nigeria's potential for greatness, embarked on many lofty advocacies to promote public accountability, peace and dialogue. The President acknowledges his contributions, set up various fora for citizens' engagement and community relations, citing his United Muslim Foundation that cares for families during Ramadan as he marks this birthday. The President wishes him good health and renewed vigor in his service to humanity. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has departed Abuja for Lagos ahead of Eid al-Fitr. A statement by the special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Ajurin Gelale, says the president will use this solemn occasion, which marks the end of Ramadan, to observe prayers for Nigeria along with his family. The statement adds that official duties continue during and after the holidays. Now, as the day of fasting and nights of prayers continue to come to a close, a last-minute task not to be forgotten is Zakat al-Fitr, or alms giving, to mark the end of Ramadan. Tokpe Alabi in this report takes a look at the significance of the last obligation by Muslims.
قد أفلح من تزكى وذكر اسم ربه فصلى.
Ramadan fast is associated with various forms of devotions. Apart from the fastings, obligatory prayers, and other acts of worship, the month is also characterized with almsgiving. One major act required at the end of Ramadan fast is Zakat al-Fitr. The purpose of Zakat al-Fitr is to enable poor people celebrate Eid al-Fitr, the festival to break the Ramadan fast.
The main idea is to make everybody has something to eat on that very day. He may not even have time to go and work for what he can eat.
We need to give a lot of charity. We need to have empathy for the less privileged.
And when it comes to difficulties of life, the biggest of them is food. Anybody that is hungry will not even listen to anything. So this Zakat al-Fitr is to cater for something like that.
Zakat al-Fitr used to wipe away all your sins, and it completes your Ramadan fasting.
This form of charity becomes mandatory from sunset on the last day of fasting and remains so until the beginning of Eid prayer. It is given by the head of the household for each member of the family. The measurement is 1 sa'ah, or 4 mudu of grains, to be given out as Zakat al-Fitr per person.
Zakat al-Fitr can pay it, when the Ramadan is coming to an end, starting from, like 2 days to the end of Ramadan.
So anyone given after the Eid become ordinary charity. So that is why Zakat al-Fitr, the popular food in your community, is what they ask us to use.
If the rich among the society, the haves, if they consider the have-not, we discover that it will be a better place for us to live in.
Islamic clerics say Zakat al-Fitr basically censors that the poor have food resources to celebrate Eid, thank Allah, and share the day's joy with their families. In Abuja, Tokpe Alabi, NTA News.
The Sultan of Sokoto and President General Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs Mohammed Saad Abubakar has asked Muslims to look for the new moon of Shawwal 1445 AH on Monday 8th of April 2024. A statement signed by Professor Sambo Walik Junaido, Chairman Advisory Committee on Religious Affairs, Sultanic Council Sokoto, says Monday is 28th of Ramadan 1445 AH and the date to look for the new moon of Shawwal. The sighting of the new moon should be reported through the following numbers for onward communication to the Sultan. And Vice President Kashim Shettima says the kind of unity and common purpose being projected in Borno State is unprecedented in the annals of contemporary Nigerian political history. The Vice President stated this when he was hosted to Iftar, the traditional breaking of fast at the Government House, Maiduguri. Mohammed Goni reports.
The Vice President Kashim Shettima, who is in the state for Salah break, was received on arrival by the Borno State Deputy Governor Umar Usman Kadapur, representing the Governor Babagana Umar Azilim, who is in Saudi Arabia for LS Hajj. Other dignitaries at the airport to receive the Vice President include Senator Kakashaw Lawan, Member House of Representative Usman Zanna, and other top government functionaries. The tradition of hosting people in the state to iftar ceremony to jointly break the Ramadan fast is a tradition which has become a well-recognized norm in Borno State since the military era. Borno State government therefore deemed it fit to honor the Vice President by hosting him to the traditional fast breaking. Vice President Kashim Shettima described the tradition of hosting dignitaries to iftar as a demonstration of unity and brotherhood the state is known for, to sustain the spirit of comradeship and partnership.
Let us continue on this path of unity and progress. There can never be peace without development, and there can never be development without peace.
Deputy Governor Umar Usman Kadapur, who welcomed the Vice President to his home state, said government and people of Borno have been honored to break fast with the number 2 citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
We are privileged and honored to break our fast with the number 2 citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
The tradition of breaking of Ramadan fast had in attendance dignitaries and critical stakeholders in the state. In Maiduguri, Mohammed Goni, NTA News.
Still on the 2024 Ramadan fast, the National Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, through its Education, Social and Health Mission in collaboration with the Federation of Muslim Women and Muslim Sisters Organization, MSS Sokoto State Chapters, have presented assorted food items to 100 deserving households in Sokoto to enable them observe the Ramadan fast with ease. Bashir Ibrahim Nababa reports that the distribution exercise was conducted at the Zakat and Endowment Commission, Sokoto.
These are among the 100 households drawn from the state capital, Sokoto, to benefit from the act of generosity.
It's not only on Sokoto that this kind of charity activity is going on in this Ramadan. This is only a small fraction of what MESH is doing.
Sincere appreciation to the Supreme Council of Islam in Nigeria through the MESH organization for this magnanimous gesture that they have done to Sokoto State today. As we can see, we have more than 100 households that are going to benefit from this package.
Sokoto is among the states in the Federation selected to benefit from the charity in the spirit of month of Ramadan. From Sokoto, Bashir Ibrahim Nababa, NTA News.
For more reports on Nationwide, let's head to the ancient city of Ibadan, where Kemi is standing by. Nice to see you, Kemi.
Thank you, Elizabeth, and a warm welcome to Ibadan. The 7th of April every year has been declared World Health Day, with the 2024 focus being My Health, My Rights. Lukman Hassan in this report takes a look at the need to constantly review health services and other underlying determinants towards ensuring right to health.
The health of millions is increasingly coming under threat. How can this trend be reversed, especially in Nigeria, of which a larger proportion of the population is said to lack access to qualitative healthcare delivery?
Even if you are going to do smart things, you are going to bring modern technology in, the people that will do it or that will use, are you training them? Are you retraining those that you have trained before to actually meet up with the modern standards of the trend of technology?
Some Nigerians are, however, of the opinion that the best way to improve the quality of healthcare services is through political willpower, increase in budgetary allocation to the health sector and infrastructure.
The health sector is not well monitored. Like, patients are being abandoned, so I will encourage the government to please put more effort in the health sector by giving us more workers and more facilities.
They're supposed to provide so many instruments so that they can use so that the Nigerian people will be happy for the government.
World Health Day, which is marked on the 7th of April every year to address challenges in the health sector, has as its theme this year, My Health, My Rights. In Ibadan, Lukman Hassan, NTA News.
And to revive the nation's economy, all hands must be on deck with intensive prayers for the country and its leaders at all levels. This is the summary of message of Bishop of Ibadan Anglican Diocese at the synod currently underway in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. Grace Ayolike tells us more.
Bishop of the Ibadan Anglican Diocese, Most Reverend Joseph Akinfenwa, said in the face of the global economic crisis, Nigeria and indeed Nigerians must look inwards in its revenue generation drive towards improving the standard of living of Nigerians.
The cost of governance is too high, too much. Let them reduce it. Once our leaders are telling us to do something, let them begin to do it. So let us all manage together. That is our emphasis.
Called on Nigerians to be patient with the present administration, pointing out that with the various plans and policies being put in place, there is hope in the revival of the economy sooner than expected.
And that's it from Ibadan. Nationwide continues in Makurdi after this break. Do stay with us.
We are glad that you could stay, and a warm welcome to Makurdi. The Benue State government has sued the Pure Biotech Company Limited in the state for non-compliance with safety standards and directed the shutting down of its production activities. Correspondent Elias Itia reports that the development follows investigations into the death of one of its staff due to avoidable accident.
Recently, reports emerged of the tragic death of one of the staff of the Pure Biotech Company over alleged negligence and non-compliance with safety standards. Investigations into the incident further revealed other unethical practices, including allegations of concealing the death of the staff, Wisdom Akura, absence of safety measures for its personnel, use of expired travel documents by companies' expatriates.
So this guy probably was working without any form of supervision. And so he warded an ethanol tank that was not purged. And there was an explosion. And the guy died. This was concealed. Another is injured and in the hospital.
According to the directive, production activities remain suspended until necessary conditions are met for operations to resume.
We found that there is no safety manager, there is no safety plan of whatever form. And it's quite bad that this place, if those safety rules are not complied with, will soon become a death trap.
Public relations manager of the company, Mohammed Abdul Qadir, said the incident was accidental and proper documentation of all foreigners is being processed with relevant authorities.
It's unfortunate, it's an accident. Nobody foresee accidents. It's an accident. When it happened, we take a necessary measure to try to save the life. Yes. We try to save the life, but it's unfortunately.
The sealing of the facility is with immediate effect. In Makurdi, Elias, ATF, NTA News.
Away from industrial accidents to infrastructure, several communities have been opened up to boost economic activities following the construction of roads linking Mbawa-Adiko Calabar roads. Elias Itiab again reports that members of the communities say the ongoing road project has put smiles on their faces.
The 35-kilometer road, which commences at Mbawa, links many communities including Adiko and Vandekia. For some residents of the communities, the development is coming with numerous benefits.
Within this short time, commodities, even those gari, granite, flour, and then our oranges are moving faster in market now. With this road now, marketers come here, buy the oranges, and they find it easier to convey it to the market. So the road is of great importance to us. So now to appreciate the thing where the government they do, Nigeria government they do for the site. Open route for inside the village. They facilitate it for carrying orange to Cameroon side.
According to the contracting firm, work is progressing steadily and that they are enjoying maximum cooperation from members of the communities.
The vision will be very, very good. So also the next stage after the filling, we will have sub-base, base course, and of course the asphalt will come finally.
Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Teso Kula, says the Governor is doing everything possible to make the people of the state happy. The 35-kilometer rural road, according to the contractors, is to be delivered in 18 months. From Vandekia local government area, Elias, ATF, NTA News.
That report rounds off our contribution from Makurdi. Elizabeth, it's back to you.
Thank you, Charles. Indian-bound passenger vomits and excretes 80 wraps of cocaine at Lagos Airport. Details with Salwal Khalil Ibrahim.
operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency (NDLEA) have arrested a Delhi Indian-bound passenger with a Liberian international passport at the screening point of Terminal 2 of the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Ikeja, Lagos. He was taken for body scan which tested positive for ingestion of illicit drugs. The suspect, who claimed he was introduced into drug trafficking by one of his relatives with a promise of 300,000 naira cash reward if he successfully delivers the consignment in India, eventually passed out a total of 80 wraps of cocaine weighing 889 grams through his mouth and anus over a period of 4 days, the action that almost took his life. In the same vein, NDLEA officers at the Lagos airport on Wednesday, 3rd April, intercepted a drug mule and his accomplice at the departure terminal on his way to Oman. The operatives discovered a false bottom concealment of drugs in the check-in luggage. At the Tinkan Seaport in Lagos, NDLEA operatives also on Wednesday, 3rd April, intercepted more than 2,000 parcels of Colorado, a synthetic strain of cannabis weighing over 1,072 grams. The seizure was made during a joint examination with Customs Service and other stakeholders on a container which originated from Toronto, Canada. Other drug traffickers and their consignment, such as cocaine, cannabis sativa, scotches, were intercepted in Kano, Ogun and Abia State during the week under review. In Abuja, Salwa Khalil Ibrahim, NTA News.
And Salwa's report ends nationwide this evening. Thank you so much for your time. I'm Elizabeth Omori. Good evening.